Welcome back to Satisfactory. Today episode 16, and I know it's been a bit of time since our last episode. I did wanted to focus on finishing new cycle. I was also a bit sick and all of this, but we're back. And in the meantime, actually, if you missed it, I did release one Satisfactory video, which was version 1 has been announced. Version 1 has been confirmed for 2024 and has been confirmed at the next update. We're not going to go from update 8 to update 9. We're just going to go to version 1 right away. Today we have big plans because it's finally time, I think, to complete phase 3 of the elevator and move to the final 2 tiers of early access. Now, I'm not going to lie, with the announcement of V1 coming, I also slightly changed my plan. For example, for phase 3, I was initially planning to do a very big, factory. We're gonna do a smaller one to make sure, we can do it fast. So starting with, phase 3, we still have, as you know, 2 different resources missing, right? If I go into my elevator there, we can see it even more. We have already given the versatile frameworks because we have automated this a long time ago already, but we haven't started to automate the modular engine and the adaptive control unit. They do use things that we have already been making, right? Motors, rubber, smart plating, all those type of things we were already making, but we never brought them together to make those modular engine. Similarly over here, we're already making, the automated wiring, we're already making the circuit boards, the heavy modular frames and the computers, but we never brought them together into a manufacturer. So this is basically, why I'm saying I'm not gonna make a huge factory, because we're already making, those things over here. We're already making, for example, right? Right now they're coming from over here. I'm storing them there. So instead, what I did, and I know it's a bit of a cop-out, is just we have the 2 manufacturers over here that are making, here modular engine and here the adaptive control unit. We really don't need that many. We only need 500 and 100. So what I did is just, you have the storage over here, right? Storage of rubber, storage of motors, and here a storage of smart plating. Similarly over here, computers. What was this one? Heavy modular frames, circuit boards, and the automated wiring. And then they just go this side into those 2 and get saved into those 2 storage. And you can see this is enough, right? 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. That's enough for what we need. Here we only need 100, we have almost 200. So now what I need to do is just fill them back up with 2 elevators, and then they can go into the elevator and be done, and we can move to the next part. So here it is, 1 elevator, linking back, going down, and now we have the resources have been delivered. So let's go. We're going to seal and then send, and with this we'll unlock tier 7 and tier 8. Done. Project assembly part 3. Let's take a minute to look at it. So beautiful. 1, 2, 3, and go. Nice. But yeah, with this going into here, hub terminal, we have 7 and 8 that have been unlocked. Starting with the bauxite refinement. That's definitely the first one we're gonna want to do. We need a couple of computers, heavy modular frames, motors, and rubber, but that's not too hard. We can do this. Before we get there though, I did want to show you a couple of things into the MAM. Right? I did find at the end of the last episode 1 hard drive. So let's see. We have a lot of things I don't really like, to be honest. Like this is making it quite complex, but just to increase the production. And this one is also making it more complex to increase the production. I really don't like them, so I'm gonna do something a bit sneaky, which is I'm just gonna press escape. And now I can just put it back and start again. Well, while we're waiting, let's go back to our factory over here, right? It was this one there, yeah? Where I've started to make black powder and obelisk at scale. So basically automated. And it's not 100% automated, I'll show you, but pretty much. And this is a bit where I was getting at when I said I changed a bit my plan now with version 1. I'm not automating everything at 200%. and taking a few shortcuts here and there. So let's go down here. Here it is. So this was already there before, right? That's how we're making all of our compacted coal that's being sent in the train to the turbo fuel. But now, I'm sending a bit more coal this side, and I'm taking some of this sulfur we're making into these. So we have two that are going to make the black powder. This one is fully automated, right? Coal and sulfur are both coming directly there. So that's automating black powder, merging it here, and then we have some storage. So with this, we got some storage of black powder. That's great. And I keep some on me. Then we send also some of this here with black powder and a bit of steel pipe. And that's where I said it's not 100% automated. I'm just delivering, a couple of steel pipe when needed to make those nobelisks. Black powder and steel pipe equal nobelisk, and then we can save them here. So now I can always have 50 nobelisk, in my storage. That's great. So that's the automation of black powder and nobelisk at scale. By the way, if you're a bit disappointed by the fact that we didn't fully automated the tier 3 productions for the elevators, as you can see for phase 4, we're gonna need 4,000, 4,000, 1,000, 1,000. So this one definitely will need to automate, It's not like 100 that you can semi-automate. This one will automate fully. Okay, so while we're waiting for the MAM to finish, let me actually unlock aluminium and talk about this. So we're delivering, oh, I'm missing just a bit of this. That's okay, I'll go get it in a sec. Okay, so here it is. We can launch and unlock site refinement. So definitely a big one, because now we have two new scannable resources, the raw quartz if you never found it before, but we had, so that's fine. More importantly, the bauxite. This bauxite will be critical to make aluminum scraps, to then make aluminum ingots, to then make alkyd aluminum sheet and aluminum casing, which are necessary for many things, including the radio control unit, but again, many other things. It's like a sort of new steel, at the beginning we started with iron, then we got steel, now we got the aluminum. That's gonna be critical. We also got the alumina and package one, and also a new type of factory, which is the blender, where you're mixing basically fluids and non-fluid, and instead of just one, it is two inputs of each. We will also be able to unlock soon conveyor belts and conveyor lifts Mark 5, so the last level that's available in early access, to be able to transform 780 of resource per minute, so then we can really get into sort of end game factories, and a couple of other things we'll talk in the future. Then we also have tier 8, which brings nuclear power and a lot of very advanced stuff. But yeah, first we're gonna want to do aluminium. Okay, while we're waiting for the MAM to finish, let's go down the plastic factory, because I've made a new small ones here on the floor. Remember, we have this oil extractor we're not using. I think it's one of the only one in this corner we're not using. But now with this, we're gonna make a new resource. So what's happening? Well, first over here is we're transforming this crude oil into plastic and heavy oil residue. This plastic is going to go into the storage, and when this is full, it can go into the awesome sink, because I want to make sure this is never, this is always working. This plastic can go there to make some containers, and so we have actually some canisters, right? We're making some canisters over here, great. But the most important thing is over here, we're using this heavy oil residue with the black powder that you just saw me automate before to make now some smokeless powder. So that's a new resource we started to make. So let me take also one or maybe two of these. So we've basically automated smokeless powder, and we're gonna be able to use it into our MAM for some new things too. Okay, a few minutes later and the hard drive has been finished to analyze. Nothing is extraordinary, but still, I think this is not too bad. It increases, the production rate, and this one also sort of slightly lower production rate, but it uses pipes that are definitely easier to make than the steel beams. So I think we're gonna choose this one. Gives me more ways to make industrial encase beams. So yeah, let's use this one. Now, more importantly, as I just showed you, we got now the smokeless powder. So, oh no, we're missing 50 of this circuit board. So sorry about that. let's go just here. Hopefully I have some in storage. Is it this one? No, this one. Yeah, perfect. Good. Perfect. Sulfur. Done. Oh, we need to first do the parent nodes. Okay, I forgot about that. So let me do at least this one, get the rifle. We need a few more motors and some rubber. Okay. Going down. Done. Rifle. Researched. Done. Can I do it now? Yeah, I can. Perfect. Just need one of them to be done. And now we have a few more slots, so that's great. But more importantly, we can do the rifle. So let's go. Where is it? Here. So to do the rifle, we're gonna need also a couple of steel pipes and a couple of screws. That's easy. And then to do the rifle ammo, we need also this smokeless powder, right? And a couple of copper sheets. Okay, so let me go get that. Should have some, yeah. Okay. 500, good. Copper sheets just behind. One. And I already forgot, sorry, my brain is not the best today. What was the other thing we needed? Some pipes. Okay, pipes. It's one of these here. Done. Okay. Then we can start shooting. So the rifle, let's just make one. No need to make 10,000. And then let's get a couple of ammunition. Good. Again, we don't need 10,000, but let's make just a few. Good. Let's equip it. Good. And up. Reload. Let me find an animal somewhere. Where are you? Here. Ah, yeah. Okay. Here it is. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Done. Where's the next one? Oh. So obviously that's great, especially for things like spiders. But yeah, we have the rifle now. Oh, while we're here, let's take this. So we have done the hard drive and sulfur here in the MAM. And so with this, it's time to move to the aluminium. To be precise, we're gonna want to make aluminum casing and Alcad aluminum sheets. There's two different productions. One is the constructor, one in the assembler. And at the basis of this, we have this new resource, the bauxite, right? We're gonna transform the bauxite into alumina solution, into a refinery with some water. There's also silica in the normal recipe. Then again in a refinery, we're gonna transform this alumina solution with a bit of coal into some water and some aluminum scrap. And then we're gonna transform or burn, if you wish, in the foundry this scrap into ingot, and then finally transform this ingot into the two things, right? We have the ingot into casing, and then we have ingot plus copper ingots into the aluminium sheet. Now this is actually a production where quite a few people have trouble with, because you have sort of two inputs, which are the water and the silica, which are both needed but also produced inside, the production chain. So we're gonna have to deal with this. I'll show you how to do it. And to recap, we need actually quite a few things. We need the bauxite, of course, that's the basis, but then we're gonna need coal, copper, quartz, and water. So you definitely need to bring a couple of things. The other element that's really interesting is, if you look at this picture over here, this is all of the bauxite of the map. There is actually something like 16 deposits of bauxite, so it's a lot less than most of the other resources. And what's really interesting is two things. The first one is the bauxite is actually only ever used into making alumina solution. There's nothing else you can do basically with it. And then the second is that all of those deposits, as you can see, they are basically on the line. This is the middle of the map. and this is a line. So it's basically perfect for a giant factory with, you know, a giant railway running across in the middle, and that's what we're gonna do. So over here we have my hub and space elevator, the starting base. We have the computing factory at the back, the copper one over here. We have over there, you know, the first highway to hell and a couple of factories along the way. Quick wires over here, and then you may remember in the last few episodes, this is where we started making compacted coal with the coal and the sulfur that comes from here. Now we're gonna continue even further over here, right? You can see it's actually an even bigger highway to hell. I also bought the electricity, of course, right? Because there's basically nothing between that and this. So this is why you have electricity. Because again, if you look at the map, right, we started over here, and this is this whole band there that has a lot of these bauxite. I have actually put it on the map, you know, with those small, you know, map marker here. But yeah, let's go over here. I'll show you what I've built, and also we're gonna build, you know, the next part together. Let's use the zip line. Oh, I think we're gonna get into this tree there. Whoop, that was a good save. So we're arriving into a completely new biome. As you can see, that is pretty cool with those red trees. Oh, we are actually getting into the trees there. Be careful. And we're gonna have to go up. Okay, that was a failure. Here is a typical highway. It is the typical blueprint of the highway that has space for trucks and for the train. We're using this one over here and that one. If you have missed that, don't hesitate to check in the previous episode, or also on my Discord community, you can find it. So, you know, we could continue to like this, right? And we can continue it. You put two of these, then you put one of these, right, etc. And actually you can see we're basically in the sort of almost in the middle, right? So now what I've built is going to connect us all the way over here. I haven't built this part here, but what I've made sure is that, you know, by building this one manually, basically, I've made sure that we are at a height where we won't have too much problem with big rock formations. Well, let's take the hypertube and I'm put it in speed 5 because it's gonna take a while. Yeah, that took a while, as you can see, but we have arrived basically to the end of the map. We're not yet at the end of the map. We're over here. We can go all the way there. This is actually basically what you can see there. That's the end of the map here. Now, why did I choose this place? Well, first of all, because there is a lot of space, right? This is basically unused space. Then second, it's a lot of water, and we're gonna need a lot of water. And third, as I said, this is basically sort of a straight line, right? And it ends here. So it makes sense. Now, I haven't started making anything pretty, as you can see, right? Like there's just some foundations and things like this. But I've basically sketched out, you know, the mega factory blueprint or the mega factory size. Basically starting from here to all the way over here. This is the space that we have to play with. And then we have the same, you know, starting from here to the bottom where there is water. Because one, I need a lot of water. So I don't think in this episode we're going to cover it all, you know, it's gonna take a while. Also, I don't think, to be honest, I'm gonna build right away the mega factory, taking all of the bauxite from, you know, the whole world. But at least we have basically the foundation. This is going to give us the right foundation to be able to do it. And that's why, for example, over here, you can see there's actually quite a few train stations. Because I'm preparing for the future, preparing for being able to use all of the bauxite of all of the map. But before we use all of the bauxite from all of the map, let's use one, right? And by the way, I'm gonna talk also about this roundabout, those signals, all those type of things. But as I said, first, you know, this is basically the first bauxite or the closest bauxite point to the mega factory here. The reality is I could have probably just built it from here to there, but you know, I wanted to just use the train all the way. So we're only going to use train for the bauxite. But yeah, you can see we have one of these. Actually, maybe should have taken you know, this hypertube here, sorry. But basically that hypertube would get us here. Right? There's an hypertube getting us here. Now we see a first miner there. This is actually an impure one, so only 150 when it's fully overclocked to 250% for Mark II. Mark III will be double, obviously. And then behind it, we have a second one here, which is a pure one, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. So we get to 600, which is basically more than what we can do right now, right? We can only do 480 with this belt Mark IV, but we'll get Mark V soon. And then the bottom here, we also have a third one, right? This was a normal, so 300. So with those, you know, we have basically a block of 3. And this is a bit what I'm gonna do all the time. Like this is a block of 3, here it's a block of 3 also, I think. Actually, you know, I can show you again over here. This is a block of 2, 4. Here we're probably gonna put those 5 together into one big, you know, station, and then those 3 there. And this is basically also I've been planning for the end game. You know, I know how many pure nodes, normal, impure there is. I know how much I'm gonna produce at the end when they are, you know, Mark III and overclocked. And so, you know, I've organized, like for example, this one is the one we just looked at, one pure, one normal, one impure. Basically in the end game, when I'm at Mark III, producing 780, 600 and 300, basically a train with 3 wagons would be good. Versus here, you know, 2 wagons would be enough. This one here, 4 wagons would be enough, because basically I'm gonna need 1 wagon for each of the pure node, and then for those 3 together, we can have only 2. So that's what we've been planning. You can see, you know, 5 basically sites and 5 different trains that are going to go there. But yeah, we have basically the bauxite coming over here and then being sent to the top, right? And we're going to follow it. So this is a very simple sort of mining structure. Let's follow this. So you can see, you know, the bauxite is coming inside this tower, right? There are 3 elevators going all the way up. It's gonna take a second because we're talking about having more than 100 meter of elevation. So yeah, that's a pretty big factory at the end when we'll build the whole thing. So getting to the top, right, we have the 3, they arrive here, they go here. Now for now, this one is only doing 150, this one 300. That's why I've merged them together, because that's 450, and the belt is limited to 480. When we move to Mark III though, we'll have to separate them. We'll have to have one on this one on that one on this one. But for now, basically we're only using 2. I've made the train station a bit longer, as you can see, right? We have those, what do you call, anti-platform with catwalk here. I haven't made it pretty, but you know, this way we have bauxite number 1, and the train of course is coming. And actually I put 2 trains to show you that it's working, no problem. The reality is I don't need 2 trains at this moment. In the future we may need 2 trains. So what's happening is, maybe let's follow this train. There's a block signal over here, so as soon as the train leaves the station, another can come in. Then here we have another block station, because we're gonna check if there's nobody you know, inside the roundabout, but you know, the 2 trains didn't mix, so it was all good. I'll explain again the roundabout in a second. First I want to show you that, you know, we're going, there's a couple of block signals to make sure that we separate the rail into different blocks, so we can have multiple trains, you know, on the same line. And then we're gonna arrive basically at the input station, or bauxite input station, where you will see 5 lines. We're gonna get there in a second. It feels slow, but it's 120 kilometers. So we have number 1 over here, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. And then there is, you know, an exit one if you want to just go around. Like this one is just in case there is a train that's lost, it can go around. So those 5 is linked to the 5 sites I mentioned before, right? This is the first site, then the second, where we only need 2 cargo, then the third we needed 3, the fourth we needed 4, and the final one, 5th one, we needed 3. So then when we have more trains, when we have more bauxite station along this railway, they will go to their respective one. When the train comes, obviously it's gonna come in, then it's gonna deliver, you know, the bauxite. We can see it. I mean, probably won't deliver anything, to be honest, because I'm pretty sure that's full. But when it does, you know, then that goes down over here. By the way, I also built on this one an actual catwalk all around. So you can walk inside the station, but you can also walk, or oops, sorry, I fell. But you can actually also walk all around, right? And there's also some stairs to go up and down. But yeah, and then well, obviously when the train is finished, the train can come out, right? And they all come out over here. And there's quite a few block signals, as you can see, to make sure that, you know, as soon as the train, for example, leaves over here, the other one that was here can leave the station, right? So it's gonna be more efficient. And then similarly, you know, as soon as the train passes this one, then the next one can start leaving, etc. And then, you know, it goes back into the main highway. So this is why I've used roundabout, because I think they work really well with this concept of, you know, one main line and then exits. We're gonna have exit on this side, but also exit on the other side, to be honest, right? But anyway, this is us bringing, you know, a lot of the bauxite, and then the bauxite, you know, from all of these stations that you can see over here, right, will go down into this underfloor for good storage. We have good storage. That's important because you may know that the train stations stop when there's a train there, so those things will stop. So having this storage container with 2 inputs and only 1 output will enable us to, you know, always have the maximum output. And then yeah, we start sending all of these towards there. We're gonna do the same, you know, in the future, right? This is going to go down, and then they will all go around here and continue this way, that, and then these are the last one, basically, right? They will all go there. So we have 15 of these, so it's basically 15 blocks that will be able to go at 780. And then DS, they can go all the way down. Not actually all the way down, but almost. This is going to be the front of the factory. You know, the front of the mega factory will start over here. So we're gonna see all of the bauxite coming down, right, into a big, you know, glass elevator, basically. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna start making, you know, mini factory. Like the first one is gonna be there, and the second, the third, fourth, etc., all the way there. Then we can also put some in front if we need be. But basically, you know, this is why we have all of the resource going down. It's basically like a bus, you know, if you wish, this is gonna be a bus that goes here, and then every time there's a resource needed, they will go like this, up, up, up. So you can see the first one, you know, I've started is here, right? So those 3 go down, and then the first one is gonna go into this factory, and this one will go into a new factory somewhere over here. Then the third one, you know, will continue a bit more and maybe do a factory here, etc., all the way here. So it's again planned for the full size. I have planned everything for the full size. So that's giving us the bauxite, right? That's gonna go into those refinery with a bit of water to make the aluminium solution and silica. So it does need water. And basically water, we're gonna do the same thing, where well, we don't need to have, you know, train. You could do train, but you know, I'm not that crazy. You don't need to, given that all of the water is here. But we're gonna do the same, you know, it's like there's one line, then we can put another line, then another, then another, then another. And basically it's quite simple. We're talking about lines of 5, so 120 times 5, that's 600. That's exactly what a Mark II pipe can do, right? So here it goes. Mark II goes into a small fluid buffer and then goes up. There's a pump to make sure it can be pumped to this location and even to over there. So it is, you know, we have number 1 there, then number 2, number 3, then we're gonna have number 4 that's gonna come here, then go here, all the way like this, right? And then it goes into this line. Again, we're talking about 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And then they continue, and we're gonna arrive to do the same thing, but at a different height, right? Like this is over here, the bus for all of the bauxite. Here we're gonna have the bus for the water just below it. And so this is number 1. Then these ones will continue, right? But this one, for example, can be used over here for the second factory. Then the third pipe will be continuing, go over here, and then we can put number 4, 5, 6, etc., etc. So hopefully you can see, you know, how I've been thinking about, you know, the whole factory layout. You may be wondering what this one is over here. I mean, as you can see, this is going to the level where we need the silica, where we need also the coal. So this is actually where we're going to bring the silicon core. And instead of coming from that side, it's actually going to come from the opposite side. So it's going to be a burst 2, but a burst going the other way around. And this is why, right now over here, we're bringing the bauxite. And then over here, in the rest of the top floor, we're going to bring the other resources, like, again, the silica or the coal. We also need to bring copper ingots. So this is going to be another sort of big station, which means we also need to expand, obviously, again, a bit more, the rail, make another roundabout over there, etc. But yeah, the factory is definitely taking shape. Don't hesitate again to tell me if you have any questions. Now, I do want to talk a bit more about the train before we move on. So for the trains, as you saw, I made some roundabouts. So what happens with those roundabouts? What's really great with the roundabouts is that enables all the trains to go, from one direction to any other. It can go from here to there, but it could also continue this side, could continue that side. And they don't actually lose a lot of speed going through this, unless obviously it's blocked and they have to stop. Now the way it works is you're always going to have a pass signal at the entrance. So this is, where my train comes. Oops, sorry about that. So this is why there is a pass signal. So it's going to check if, this is already being used or not. And then this is over here, another entrance, for example. So there's also another pass signal, right? And then at the exit, there is always a block signal. So this one is a block signal. Now it's green because, this train has cleared this block, so it's perfect. Similarly over here, there is a block signal. So that's always what you do. You put a path at an entrance of the roundabout, and you put a block at an exit of the roundabout. You may also be wondering how to make a roundabout. I am right now in no cost mode, so I can show you quickly how it works without having to get new resources. But yeah, we're gonna put, as always, a highway. So it's 2 of the 3, then the 1. Okay. And the roundabout, you're gonna want a 7x7 block. So now over here, if we look over here, we have 1x3, we have 3x3, and 3x3. So 3 plus 1 plus 3, that is 7. So we have already one sort of angle or one length of the 7. Now let me just delete this. So we're talking about 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, if I'm not mistaken. I'll do the same on the other side. Quickly, I know it's okay, 1, 2 more. And then press G to get to the modern railing. Right. I think I forgot one. And then same here. Okay, so now we have a 7x3. So we're gonna want to add, sorry. 1 layer and 2 layers on each side. 1 and 2. So now we have 7x7. This is a 7x7 block. And now, by the way, you may be wondering why I'm doing this manually. Is because you can't do a blueprint of 7x7, right? I mean, you can with mods and things like this, but it's a bit complex. So let's just use the normal way, which is you use my blueprint to do the 3x7, and then you add, easily on the side. And then you will also, I suggest you use this pattern here to really show you the middle, because that's gonna be important to not mess anything. So here it is. We have the middle of the 7x7. Then we're gonna take, normal railway, and we're gonna do this trick you may have seen. There's other creators that have shown that in the past. Basically, you're gonna want to start where, the line is, and you're gonna want to start where you're basically just outside. Look at this. You can see the rail is basically just outside. Now, this is a temporary railway. So, you don't have to worry about the length or anything. just make sure that you start it on the dotted line and just outside, right? It's just outside and it's straight, of course. So do the same. So we do the same here. Okay, and as I said, this is a temporary one that's just going to help us place the first circle. So you start anywhere, and then you're gonna want to turn where you have half a foundation and then the full foundation, and you get to the corner over here, right? You can see hopefully we are, sorry, let me press H to block, like this, the end of the railway there gets to the corner. So we do this, you can do the same on the other side, right? Half a foundation, a full foundation, and we get to the corner over here. And then you're just gonna link them, and it is. You can see pretty perfect circle. Then you can delete those two, because we don't need them anymore. And we're gonna do the same, where half a foundation, and you get to the corner. And this one is the wrong one, so that's fine. Let's do the other side, half a foundation, okay. Okay, then we can delete this one, do the same, up. So as you can see, it becomes really almost natural. You know, I'm not even counting tiles or those type of things like you may have heard. It becomes really natural once you understand that you just need to get to that corner here. And done, it is. And we have a perfect circle. Now, we obviously do want to connect this circle back to the other. So actually, maybe let's start on this side. Now you can only connect one railway to another railway where you made, you know, when you end it, like you can only do it like this. So that is why you're going to start here. And then you're gonna want to be straight. So you go all the way over here and you need to be straight. Here it is. You can see, hopefully, I am perfectly straight there. So that's how it's gonna go, like this. Similarly there. Right, we need to make sure you are straight. Here it is, I'm straight now. So it is basically usually a bit more than one foundation, right? You start here, there's one foundation, it's just a bit more, and you can see I'm perfectly straight. So we do this, and then here is the same, right? We're gonna want to be just a bit more than one foundation, perfect. And here it is, connects perfectly. Yeah, it's perfect grid in a sense, right? And then here you can do the same, like if I want to have a railway going this side, or on that side, or this side. So this is how you create these perfect roundabouts. And then, as I said, you do need to remember over here to put your signals. So if I go into, I always forget, transport, right, we're gonna want a block signal in the exit. So that is over here. And we're gonna want a pass signal in the entrance. Sometimes it's a bit finicky. Just make sure you put it on the right side. No, this side. Yeah, perfect. So now they should be able to continue taking the roundabout with no problem. So that is the roundabout, that is the signal. Hopefully that helps you. And again, as I said, we're gonna have not just one exit, we're gonna have multiple. Now, as I said before, I don't really need two trains, you know, on this line. It is a pretty short line, right? We can calculate how long it takes to go from here to there and back. But the reality is, if you think, you know, each of these freight car, we're talking about 32 times 100, so we're talking about, you know, 3,200 divided by a couple of minutes to get there. This is a really great transportation rate, right? We again can calculate it precisely by knowing how long it takes for the train to go back and forth. But yeah, this is totally fine. Now, as you can see, one train is leaving, so the other one will be going in, right? This one just went in green. And this is, by the way, why I've left so much space here, is I wanted to be able to have one train waiting here and still not block this whole railway here. The bauxite delivery is definitely working with no problem. The water, you know, production is totally fine. Right now I only made 3, but I could easily expand further, right? And so now in the next episode, we'll be able to do the same, you know, add a new train station on the other side for the silica, for the copper, and for the coal. of course, that means also taking some of those resources, close. So basically there is a lot of silica somewhere over here, there's a lot of coal, there's a lot of copper, so we're gonna bring all of those resources on the same train line, right, to bring it over here. Actually, to bring it over here, to be more precise. So we're gonna expand our train network for sure. We're gonna bring those resources down, and then most importantly, we can basically finish this first factory there, make a second next to it, so that we can produce the two resources, the aluminum casing and the alcat sheet. Right? We want to build both, so we're gonna have one mini factory for one mini factory for the other. And tell me in the comments below, if you want me to build the whole thing right away, or if we should wait a bit, if you want to see a lot of cosmetic right away for this gigantic factory, or if we should focus on the functionality first. But yeah, we are now in phase 4, finally. We have unlocked tier 7 and 8, so great progress, and I hope to see you next time.